Hey guys, and welcome to Film Artsy, your number one source for all things films and movies. My name is Elijah, and with Avengers Endgame finally out, we speculated very early on that it was most likely the marketing team behind Endgame would throw us some curveballs in the trailers and announcements and information that was leaked pre-Endgame, and we were right. They changed a lot of things from the trailer that didn't even make it into the actual movie. So today we're going to be taking a look at some of these changes and some deleted scenes and leaked plot lines that we never fully got to see. Let's go ahead and jump into this.
Agent Romanoff, you miss me?
Oh yeah, Charles, we got ourselves an X-Men fan.
Captain.
Your Highness.
Captain, big fan, Spider-Man. Hey everyone.
So the first major scene that we saw in the trailer that didn't translate into the actual footage actually surrounds the Black Widow. Most specifically, you guys may have noticed the shooting scene or the gun range scene that shows her shooting very well. But there's also a couple other small scenes with the Black Widow that didn't make it into the final cut of the movie. This includes a scene of her sitting outside in the rain and another scene of her boxing. Now, we actually, while these scenes I guess weren't crucial for the movie, and the movie's already 3 hours in length, so they really couldn't put anything that was non-essential into the movie, it would have been really nice to see these scenes play out in the actual film, because it would have given kind of a grander scale of Black Widow and Natasha Romanoff's sacrifice, which was a major plot point, and it was really sad. And the fact that those two scenes were kind of left out, or three scenes were left out, it's a little disappointing, but it does give us further insight to her character and the fact that she was broken after what happened with Thanos and willing to do whatever it took to possibly bring her family back that she had made. And you see the depression side of things take a toll. So we wish the scenes were in there, but it's understandable. Okay, so then one of the big ones is the Incredible Hulk. Since he became Professor Hulk in Avengers Endgame, they hid him very, very well in the trailers. They actually fully CGI'd him out of a lot of the scenes that we see in the trailer. There's a scene of them all walking that we'll get to more in a second, but when we have the scene where Rocket walks into the house that we later found out was the house of Thor, where he's playing video games in Asgard, or New Asgard, we find out that the Hulk's really right behind him. So they completely just wiped that when they put that in the trailer. And then the scene where everyone's walking, you see most of the cast lineup, and there's this kind of wide shot where it shows all of them walking, but at the end where Professor Hulk and Thor would have been, they're both CGI'd out because they were kind of letting us have that big surprise that Thor had put on a ton of weight, which was actually a really funny plot point and subplot, and they did a lot of things. There's a lot of layers to that we really did enjoy. Then we have a couple scenes of the Vanished, more people that kind of disappeared along the way that show up on the screens in the trailers that we didn't actually see in the film. This includes a shot of Hope Pym, who is the Wasp, which is interesting because up until that point, I didn't really know if the Avengers or anyone involved there actually knew of her character's existence outside of just Ant-Man. So that's interesting to say the least that she showed up on their screen. And there were other characters that showed up in the trailer that didn't show up in the actual movie, like Wanda and Peter Parker. We have the scene from 2012 where Steve asks if Tony trusts him, and they kind of shake hands. The scene looks pretty normal at first, but you realize they never actually shake hands in the movie, and Steve is wearing a different suit. He's actually wearing his Infinity War suit and not his 2012 suit, which he actually wears in that scene, because when he has the fight against other Steve, you can tell that they're wearing the same suit. So we know that they changed that scene too, probably to hide the fact that it was in New York, because it already looked like New York in the trailer, and since we kind of had speculation that time travel was involved, they probably didn't want to reveal any more, and showing the 2012 suit would have been pretty obvious. Okay, so we have a couple scenes from the final battle of the film. We have this scene of them walking to approach Thanos, and in the actual film, you can see Thor has his hammer on the screen in that shot. It's actually kind of a centerpiece, so they obviously erased that to not give away the fact that the hammer would return. We have these scenes with Captain America and his shield kind of tightening the straps, but actually at this point in the film, the shield already was mostly destroyed by Thanos, and obviously they cut that out because they didn't want to reveal that part. This one was the most interesting to me, and it's probably the most minor on this list, but we have the scene of Clint running through the red hallway, which was something we analyzed so closely trying to piece together what's going on, and this one was changed drastically. There's, in the movie, monsters chasing him, and he has the Infinity Gauntlet, or he has the Stark Gauntlet, and he's running with it with all the Infinity Stones, and in the trailer we don't see any of that. He's just running from the fire. So that was a big hide and a big change. I wonder if they shot them completely different just for the trailer. It's possible. We have clips of Captain Marvel, who has a mohawk similar to what she had in the Captain Marvel movie, and that's also slightly different from what we actually see in the movie because her hairstyle had completely changed, and they obviously wanted to hide the hairstyle change because in the final fight, Captain Marvel actually doesn't wear any headgear. She's just looking normal with her new haircut. So they kind of used footage of her with her helmet on from the movie to hide the fact that she had a haircut. I mean, that's that minor of a detail, but they took some serious thought into changing things. And then just these two more smaller scenes from earlier in the film where Scott makes his return and he goes to Avengers headquarters. You can see that his dialogue was changed out, and when Black Widow is responding to the fact that there is a video recording of him, she actually has her short blonde hair in the trailer. However, they obviously CGI'd that or did multiple shots of it because when this part happens in the film, it already had been 5 years, so her hair would have looked different with the red and blonde instead of just the short blonde. So it's interesting how they did that to misdirect us in the trailer. That's, for the most part, most of the scenes that were kind of clipped out or altered. Now there's also some other leaks that we've had along the way about some major plot points, specifically involving some mysterious female character that was supposed to have a major role in this film and possibly future films that never happened. The actress Katherine Langford was casted to play some sort of character. There's a lot of speculation as to who this character would be. A lot of people thought early on it would be Kate Bishop, who would be the next Hawkeye, but from the introduction of the film, it looks almost like Clint is more likely to train or raise his daughter to become the next Hawkeye. So we weren't too sure about that. But then a lot of speculation as to whether or not Katherine Langford would have played Tony Stark's daughter Morgan grown up is a huge theory, and it is a possibility. It could have been maybe some sort of dream sequence right when Tony Stark was dying where he kind of envisioned his daughter older and not living in this kind of messed up world, or maybe he would have had one last time travel attempt where he goes to the future to see his daughter grown up. We really don't know how this element would have played out, but there are oddly enough similarities to Katherine Langford and Robert Downey Jr. and even the actress who plays young Morgan Stark. Obviously they're not related, so they don't look like each other, but there's like similar resemblances that would have been a very important decision for whoever was the casting director was at that time. So it's really interesting that this major actress wasn't in the movie anywhere. So maybe they'll do something more with that later on. Maybe we'll see another time jump down the road. We really don't know what's going on, but it would be interesting to see what they were going to do with that. Then there was also a deleted scene that we heard about in an interview, which would have made the final fight even longer, possibly another 20 to 40 minutes longer. Obviously, they couldn't fit that into the 3-hour movie, and they said that pretty much it was a moment where there was kind of a pause in the fight, whether it was an actual pause by one of the time stones or just kind of things had slowed down a little bit, and essentially all of the characters were kind of communicating, but they said that when it got to the point of them editing, it just felt very forced and it didn't feel natural at all, so they ended up cutting it out. And I think actually that would make sense. When a bunch of characters are in a scene, it's really hard for all these characters to have a bunch of one-off dialogue, and I think it was probably for the better. But that's for the most part everything that was cut out of Avengers Endgame. Let us know what you think of all of this down below. So guys, what did you think? Let us know in the comment section down below. If any of these were really interesting to you or you're curious how they would play out, please let us know your theories in the comments. We do love to see what you guys are thinking, and be sure to subscribe with the notifications on because you're not going to want to miss what we upload next. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.
What's up, Dorito?
Then, better late than never, Captain America, Chris Evans, crashes the interview. Hugs all around, but hey, where's Roxy?
I'm sorry.
Chris Evans.
You two are.
Hi.
You both are relevant. Great.
Okay. This interview actually ended 2 minutes ago. We just.
Kyle, enjoy this Team Iron wannabe man, but the right team is the only team, Cap.
No negativity from me.
Are you a baby? Oh wow. Are you Avery? You're a pretty girl. Yes. Are you happy?
Hey guys, we hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you guys hit the like button down below and subscribe for more Film Artsy. If you guys want to showcase your talent to the world, Film Artsy is the best place for you guys to do it. Please submit your videos to filmartsyofficial@gmail.com, or you guys can click the link in the description. We really want to see what kind of talent you guys can provide. So let us know, send us an email, and we'll check out your videos, and we'll see you all in the next video.